Welcome to day...
22.
I'm glad you knew. Yay! After 25, I think we should just start counting in ones again. But then it's like 2-1. So instead of 26, it's 2-1.
It's like in parentheses,
Yeah.
2, 1. Oh, and then we have 2 blocks of 25.
Exactly.
I mean, that's logical and makes complete sense.
Or we can just keep it 50 because it's 50 days.
Well, that would be a smart idea, but like, is it conventional? Yes, that's why we shouldn't do it. Sorry, my dogs were making out. Anyways, today we went and saw The Color Purple.
I still hear your dogs making out.
Yeah, just don't pay attention to them.
What's up, doggos?
What's up, Gross? Come
Oh.
here. Today we saw The Color Purple, and it was pretty phenomenal. That was the one that Manfredi was like, wow, this one's really good. And she was right.
Mm-hmm. That was the one Manfredi brought her mother to and stayed the whole time.
Yeah, she didn't leave during intermission, which is a first.
Yeah, and then I stayed for the talkback and didn't register because Manfredi had said the talkback was happening, and then everyone else left, and I was like, well, I'm in my own car, so I'll just... And then I got yelled at by Lloyd.
We had a lot of work to do. I feel like the talkback, did they answer your most burning questions?
Yeah, it was really funny because there was a furry child.
Was it from that one school who was really annoying?
I don't even know. They were like in the front row, and it was like a mom, or like... I'm assuming it was a mom because it was just the mom and the furry child.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason I know it's a furry child is because the child wasn't sitting in a seat like normal people. The child was sitting like in the like staircase to get down to like... It was, and big giant furry ears, and I was like...
Oh.
And then they asked, how did the flowers come out of the tree? Did you guys, like, do that during intermission, or, like... And then the stage manager walks out, and the nicest person ever, and they're like, that's a wonderful question. It's actually happening in the middle of this song, and it's super easy, like the vents in the back that just open and close when we want them to. You just push a simple button, and then all the flowers pop out. And then the lady was like, all right, that's all the questions we have time for. Goodbye.
If you made it through episode 19, first of all, props to you. Second of all, reference to the furries once again.
Here we are.
Can't escape them.
One of the actors said that their favorite part... I don't remember. I zoned out when they were saying... Until they said something like their favorite part is food. And I was strongly connecting to that actor in that moment.
Was the lemonade real? Is that her favorite part?
No, like, being with the cast was just eating food together. I was like, oh.
That's us. That's essentially me and Micah, except no food, just tea.
It's too hot.
It's really hot. We'll slurp it later.
Yeah, I was fake slurping.
Oh, it burned the back of my throat. Anyways, yeah, Color Purple, incredible. Bella was like, she sent me a song, and she's like, I'm gonna try to sing this. And she's like, gosh, it's so hard. And I'm like, girl, it's fucking gospel. Of course it's gonna be difficult. Like, it's gospel church choir, which is, like, in my opinion, one of the most, like, vocally impressive forms of music. I listen to it in my car when I'm alone. I'm like, church gospel, put it on.
It makes me want to just raise my hand. Like,
no, literally just makes me want to, like, clap really, really loudly.
I don't remember any details, so it's irrelevant.
Okay. Thank you.
I'd go watch Moulin Rouge first, but...
Yeah. I was so... Okay, talking to Mrs. Marion, I was like, I was so insufferable at Moulin Rouge. Like, anything would happen, and I was just like... Or, like, someone would just walk on, I'd be like, damn!
Flex that thigh again!
Flex! Wow! And I think that, like, that encouragement is what makes live theater fun. Like, if you want to have a quiet performance... Listen to the track. I'm not one to scream during, like, emotional scenes, though. Just throwing that out there.
There are some places...
Where that's not appropriate.
But there are other
but,
places
like, big
where
numbers?
it's very appropriate.
Big numbers? Starting cheers? That's amazing. It's part of what live theater is all about. I don't know if you guys have seen this dog.
I've been chosen. Oh.
That's Moose. You can't really see him on the screen, but he's a dog.
I've been expecting you. If the actor is doing something that's supposed to get a verbal reaction out of the audience, like I don't know,
Holding a note for a
holding
very
a
long
note
time.
for a very long time, doing a very comedic joke purposely at the audience, like drinking lemonade for a full minute.
Mm-hmm. Then you should react. We're not at, like, the orchestra or whatever. We're with performers. Energy feeds performances. Unless I'm completely wrong and we should just be stone-faced the entire time, but I don't think that's fun.
Owen said to me, he said, you know, when I go into performances, I try to be as emotionless as possible. I failed dramatically in this one, and I was like, is that a good thing? And he goes, ha. And then he just sat down and we listened to them talk.
He's so real.
He's so real. Except for, Owen, your music taste today, not good.
Did he play music in the car?
Yeah.
Ooh. Lloyd listens to his pop playlist, and one time Sarah Bareilles came on, and then he skipped her, and I go, did he just skip Sarah? And then he, like, side-eyes me in the rear mirror and then goes back, and I'm like, yeah! He skipped over Waitress, What Bacon Can Do, Sarah Bareilles version.
I might skip over that, too. I'm not a big Waitress fan, I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? I haven't seen
Moulin
it.
Rouge exists.
Well, just because Moulin Rouge exists doesn't mean we can't not like other things.
Just, yeah, I guess so.
Like, it's at the top of my list, and, like, here's the rest of the list, and then here's Moulin Rouge.
Yeah. Understandable.
If you guys can hear my dog raw dogging that bone, I'm so sorry. You want to write today?
Sure.
The bone and writing did not make a connection in my brain, but, you know.
But it's okay, because we're just talking. Why are you side-eyeing me like this, dog? Bless you.
What's today's date?
Today's date?
Yes.
It's the 125
1,600
April 19th.
Thank you. Oh, Marion was telling me about this, like, thing. This performing art thing. Yeah. And she's like, they're doing Rent. And I'm like, that's so cool. And she's like, it's $600. And I was like,
yeah.
If you get in.
Yeah, one of my friends was like, you should totally do this. And I was like,
dope. How much is it?
they didn't even tell me. I had to look at the website. $745. Kick to the gut.
Wow.
And take your wallet. And it's the same thing, because another group like RAA is doing Les Mis, and it's the same price. It gives us real appreciation for our shows.
Today I walked up to Manfredi and I go, I have a present for you. And she goes, for me, I love money. And I go, my favorite hobby is giving you all my money.
I was supposed to give her money.
You have tomorrow.
Oh, great.
Anyone who's in theater, my workshop is gonna either be super fun or it's not gonna work. You just have to participate, and if you don't, I genuinely won't know what to do. Like, I'll stand there and I'll be like, well, I tried. So, surprise workshop for Audrey. I get to run one.
To those who can't dance in my workshop, I'm not going to make an easier version. Shout out to the two people, you know who you are, who already know the first couple 8 counts.
It's Claire.
It's not Claire. I don't think Claire listens to this. Claire, if you're listening to this, you're my favorite dancer.
So we're gonna write about Rain today?
Yes.
Not the person. Sorry, Rain.
R-A-I-N.
I hope you enjoyed the peaceful sound of that to accompany our poems about rain.
R-A-I-N.
R-A-I-N, not rain. Sorry. We're not dedicating any poems to anyone, or else then we have to dedicate a poem to everyone, and I don't know how to write, so.
And we're far too popular to write 50 whole poems.
50 entire poems. We don't even have enough days left for that.
Exactly. We'd have to, like, double up, and then it...
Just be a whole poetry podcast.
We'll just sign the merch.
Yeah. Okay. Vote in the comments below. Penguin emoji for a shirt or a toucan emoji for a hoodie. with our logo on it, and then on the back is another design that I haven't made yet. Yeah.
I have gotten a request for to just be our faces.
Was that Owen?
No.
Oh. We'll print out
Can you guess who it was?
just a picture of our faces.
Yeah. I don't think it's who you think it is.
I genuinely, Owen was the only guess I had. Name drop.
Name drop. Sorry, Olivia.
For $5, you can get a picture of art, like just cut out, like Snapchat stickers of our faces, printed on a piece of printer paper, and then signed.
We'll put a frame on it too.
Then it will be $10. Were you ready to read?
Sure.
And if you want that merch, comment a thumbs up emoji.
You want to read first?
No. Rain. You come in peace, like a cat sitting on it quietly on its haunches. You watch over us, dusting the dawn with fresh morning dew. Pitter-patter on soft, weathered feet. I know you use that line too. Pitter-patter. Pitter-patter. Sometimes you're angry. You'll beat and batter, teeming with the wind to deliver your fury. You destroy, flood, wash away. But it isn't your fault. We're all subject to bad days. So thank you, rain, for the smell in the morning, for giving a fullness to jazz and an environment for dramatic confessions of love. You are all we need for spring. I didn't know what to say in the end. I wanted it to be like really romantic, like I was serenading rain, but then I was like, spring and no, I'm good.
Were you thinking of The Office for...
I was thinking of that one movie where they're like kissing in the rain. I haven't seen it, but I know that's one of the most like iconic rain scenes. The Notebook.
Oh,
Yeah.
Love the way that movie
Yeah.
ends.
Haven't seen it.
Oh.
I just know that they're in the rain, and I'm like, I feel like I'd be pissed off if my shirt got wet, and we were kissing it, and like, I don't know, just not an ideal environment.
Not ideal. My shirt's now wet. If I'm wearing a white shirt,
Oh, it's not the best. Like, that's just, I prefer my kisses to be in dry,
Not moist.
no moist. If you get our merch, they won't be moist.
Unless you pay me $20 more.
And then we'll
And then
throw it in the rain for you. Because that's what you were thinking of. Anyways, read your poem.
Okay. My first line is the same one Audrey had, but it's okay. Pitter-patter, little chatter. I do not walk in the rain. I dance through the droplets. I ignore my shame projected on me. To be cut from the cookie cutter. To not open my mouth wide in the rain. Splash through the puddles. Not worry about my troubles. Dancing through the rain. And little chatter of pitter-patter.
I think he really
Thank you,
liked
Kat.
that poem.
I know that meant a lot to you, Kat. Thank you for your... I heard you got buttered noodles at Noodles and Company.
Okay, I didn't get buttered noodles. No. Oh my god, no. Who do you think I am?
Well, that's why I was bringing it up, because if
Oh
you
my
got
gosh.
buttered noodles,
No.
we're going to have some issues, because you only make buttered noodles. You don't go out and spend $20.
No,
to get
no,
buttered
no.
noodles.
I got mac and cheese with chicken.
Okay.
So it was... Hey. Sorry.
Did you just sabotage your dog?
I did. He's about to start squeaking and we can't have any background noise on the podcast.
Because we've never had any bad noise on the podcast.
At Noodles and Company, sometimes I get the chicken Alfredo type beat,
Mm-hmm.
but I just wasn't in the mood. I wanted just a good bowl of mac and cheese.
The best of
And they have very good mac and cheese there. So I was like, hey, can I get mac and cheese with chicken? And it was such a good decision. Ari and Bella got buttered noodles.
Don't they have like Thai noodles or something?
I think so.
Aren't they like spicy or something? 'Cause those
Spicy
ones are
buttered noodles.
Good spicy butter noodles. Fortune today. The only constant is
Mm-hmm.
change.
Know that you are a child of the universe. Perfect. If you guys ever have a substitute teacher, be like, hey, I know what we should watch.
Or if you don't, just bring it up to your teacher. If they're a homeboy, they'll play it.
If they're a homeboy, I feel like Mr. Lloyd would rather be caught dead than listen to our podcast.
Yeah, I think so.
It's okay, though. I don't think that's a good way to get the things that you want in life. You gotta have ambition, drive, power, and a bit of guilt.
You gotta stay hungry. You gotta devour.
Eat with your cast.
You gotta put in the work.
Mm-hmm. Eat your butter noodles.
Put in the hours. You gotta take what's yours.
Hours.
No.
Spelled with an H.
Hours of people's time.
That's what we do.
That is what we... Well, I think we spend more of our time.
Yeah. Do you know how much effort and time gets put into these? We have the initial recording process, and then it depends on who's editing. I edit the shorter ones, or like longer ones sometimes, and then Locke edits the like 50-minute ones, and then Micah edits day 19, because I didn't want to edit that, and neither did Locke. So, and then after that, we have to get those incredible thumbnails created, which takes so much time, obviously, and then we have to come up with a funny title. That's like a 3-hour daily investment, my guy, because that's how math works.
This was such a simple process at the beginning.
I miss Instagram Reels.
I don't.
I truly don't.
Don't you remember? Okay, guys. The first time we tried to upload it, it like crashed once. Uploaded half of it, and we're like, "Where's the other half?" And then Audrey had to like cut it in half, and then like re-upload it, and I think it crashed again on the second half of the upload. And then I think it was like an hour of just trying to upload.
We sat there for quite some time.
We didn't even have tea.
We didn't, and now we do, and everything is better. I think we have far more references now too, and viewers.
That's true.
Apparently, someone had a dream about our podcast.
Oh.
Not in like a weird way. I mean, okay, it was weird.
Quick
Nee,
question.
if you're out there.
Do you get a lot of those texts that are like, I had a dream about you, and then it's like a ramble on for 30 minutes and you don't reply?
I have a few, like, someone I know had a dream about you, and it's someone who doesn't know me that well, and that's really funny. But I don't get a lot of dreams about me.
That's probably good.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue.
We were Christmas elves, and, like, on the podcast.
Oh, okay.
Because she fell asleep listening to the podcast.
That's really sweet.
Which is nice, because I also need YouTube videos to fall asleep at night. I'm like, what video essay should I put on today? And, we were Christmas elves, and you had tap shoes that were, like, Christmas themed, I think.
That sounds pretty sick.
Right? And I think she's making headcanons about the podcast. So, Nia, if you keep having headcanons about the podcast, keep sending them to me, and I'll talk about them on the podcast.
Mm-hmm. And then you can fall asleep listening to your own dreams on a podcast that you're dreaming about. Such a nap sort of day.
Yeah. I went home and I fell asleep, and it was those kinds where you, like, wake up and your face is squished, and there's an indent. It was good.
So hear me out.
Okay.
What is the length a nap has to be in order for it to be sleeping instead of napping?
Over an hour.
Over an hour?
Yeah. No, over 2 hours.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. What do you think?
I would agree.
Yeah.
Because science says you need 6 to 8 hours in order to grow or whatever. Like, no, you don't. You need like 4 to 5.
That's why I stopped growing.
I stopped growing because I started eating my greens. And I started shrinking.
What do you think is, like, the prime nap? Like, the prime amount of time for a good nap?
Okay, well, that depends. If it's sunny and I'm laying in the sun, like a 30 to 45 minute nap. Because, like, I'll be reading a book and then I'll be like, oh, a nap sounds really good right now, you know? But if it's rainy outside and I'm already bundled up, that's like a 2-hour nap in front of a fireplace.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
but you also do run the risk if you sleep for too long, you wake up and you're like, I don't know what era or decade it is, you know what I mean?
Great Scott!
Good Scott! Or, like, you wake up and then everything is worse because you almost entered REM sleep, but you didn't, so then you're like...
What is REM sleep? Because a lot of people... My father was like, Did you know you don't sleep right? And is Starbucks on your cup of New York? Sorry.
New York reference. Those who get it, get it. That's a good question. It's either the deepest part of sleep or the most surface level of sleep. I'm pretty sure it is the deepest, though.
How do you measure depth?
Brain waves.
What if you don't have those?
Usually, most people do, but in the case of this podcast, we probably don't.
In the case of this podcast, we're always in REM sleep.
We are always in REM sleep. These are all sleep conversations. No, I'm pretty sure you need to enter that stage of sleep to, like, get dreams or it's some other thing. Once again, I'm not an expert on anything that I talk about. This is just what I be thinking sometimes.
I want to know how scientists are figuring that out. Like, do they, like, have people sign up to, like, stay in, like, one of those insane rooms where they just, like, have a bed and then, like, they just, like,
Hook 'em
sleep
up.
and then that's, like, brain and then they just, like, watch people sleep?
You know, the funny part is that's probably exactly what they do.
Because that's really creepy.
But, like, the thing is who thinks about that? They're like, you know, after inventing calculus for some reason, I just really felt the need to watch people sleep.
Speaking of calculus, if you guys have Snapchat, which has become my new best friend, literally and metaphorically, because I text no one on Snapchat, join your high school.
You talking about the AI?
There's an AI bot, and I asked it what calculus is, and it said this. Calculus is a branch of mathematics that deals with the study of rates of change and accumulation. And then it goes on for a whole paragraph. You can't see it. But, yeah. Mine isn't as fun as Audrey's is, though.
Audrey's started off with my classic line of, tell me you love me. And then it said, I love you, with like the emoji. And then I go, would you marry me? And then it goes, I'm sorry, but I can't marry you. But I can't wait to hear about your future relationships and any exciting updates in your love life. I'm flattered. I just don't think that would be possible since I'm just a virtual friend. How about we just stay friends? And I go, friend zoned once again. And then they say, don't worry, being friends can be great too. We'll still have a lot of fun together and I'll always be here to support you. Let's do something fun. And I go, let's frolic. And it's like, I can't do that with you, I'm fake. So now I'm going to say, subscribe to Micah and I's podcast. Yes.
That's grammar.
I know. Sure, I'd love to check out your podcast. What's it called and where can I find it?
Well, if you were wondering, it's called Audrey Micah _ 50 days because we're not going to change the title. It's quirky or whatever.
What? The AI is going to check us out, guys.
If we don't get a new subscriber in at least 3 days, that thing's fake.
Mm-hmm.
You know who's underappreciated in this? Dang.
I love when you're like, I was listening to your podcast. You're an incredible person and an incredible light technician.
Dang has been there from the start.
You have always been there.
Get go. Shout out.
We need to make Dang merch. We're gonna do like 2 guest stars a week if we get that demand. Because guest stars are tiring. Because either me or Micah always has to pick them up.
Mm-hmm.
Get your driver's license, please.
You got your driver's license last week, like we always talked about. But like for seriously, like go get your license.
Your friends will actually thank you, and
it's
you don't have to drive
really-
people around. It's just nice that you know how to drive yourself around.
Like, shout out to all those people learning to drive right now,
You're an incredible person.
and thank you for being that person.
Thank you.
No one, your friends probably won't thank you because they'll just take it as a friendship thing.
Mm-hmm.
But thank you for driving them.
You get a shout out for driving.
Don't drive like me though.
Or me. We're honestly both pretty bad.
I didn't race a limo today though. It kind of sucked.
Micah likes to race people, and I like to just see. I like to. See, I follow the rules, but when I don't know where I'm going, turning is just a very perilous thing for me. Because I'm like, which turn lane do you want me to be in? Do I keep going straight? No? Oh, okay.
You should ask your AI bot.
I should. How do I become better at driving?
It'll probably say practice, practice, practice.
It really would. We're besties now. I'm kind of nervous that Snapchat now has... I mean, Snapchat already has our faces and everything. And everyone else has access to our thoughts. So...
Not all of them, because this is edited.
Heavily.
It's the boots, cats, the boots, cats, the boots, cats, the boots, cats. Wiki wiki woo. I should stand up and show my butt. I haven't done that in this episode. I did have to do a double take though. I got home and I have a mirror that you can't really see in unless you're like 4'11", which is quite confusing.
It's me.
But when I get all the way to my kitchen, I looked behind me and I saw my butt in the mirror. And I had to do a double take because I was like, no way that badonka donka is attached to this badonka donka.
That was me during Chicago.
Damn!
No, I remember.
Which way? When it was backwards or forward?
Both, man. Okay, so story time. I put on my costume wrong the first time because it had a lattice mesh top, and there was no tag to tell me which way was right. And I was like, okay, if it's a leotard, it's gonna want to cover my front half more so than my back half. So I just assumed that was the way. And then my butt cheeks were out the entire promo filming session, much to a point where I had to sit on the chair and go like squish, and I could just feel the chair. And I was just like, my ass cheeks are so out. And Bella was like, yeah, Micah looked over and saw it and went, oh, damn. They were truly, completely...
Well, because I was like, wow, these costumes aren't as skimpy as I thought. And then I saw you and I was like, just kidding.
Jesus. No, that was like awful. And then I flipped it to the right way, obviously. And it was still like... Savannah took a picture of me bowing, and when I turn around, I rotate to this side, and it's like, and like, let me just share a secret with you. I don't perceive myself. So I was like, I have an ass? And now I just feel like it's not there anymore, but it's like the presence is just always gonna be there. Like, I just know.
Like, borrow that from Ismarian.
I feel like I borrowed it. It's the costume. But then sometimes I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like,
who's that?
oh my gosh. So,
who's that sexy thing I see over there?
there? Ah, that's my ass. I didn't know it was my
Hanging
ass.
out of my skirt.
It wasn't a skirt.
Hanging out of my leotard.
My Ismarian gave Ari and I shorts, but they were like balloon shorts, and they were just really ugly. And so we just both opted to be sluts. I was like, it's fine. Like, I don't even have, like, my ass isn't that noticeable. It's fine. And then
it all happened.
So, Micah and I have the best asses squad.
Maybe we should make that a t-shirt. Oh, no! Put in, put in a donkey emoji if you want sweatpants that has a, a photocopy of...
No, I'm a minor.
I'm not.
He isn't,
so,
though.
We'll just make Micah ass.
Micah ass merch.
Micah ass.
Just on sweatpants. It's like a tiny little emblem right here, and it's like boom, boom. Shout out to Ismarian. You did amazing on those costumes. I love you so much.
That's true. I liked my first top better, and then... Okay. Let me preface. Agree. The first top that I had was the same one that Olivia was wearing.
That was a cute top.
With, like, the straps on the back.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ismarian took it away from me and said, you were too distracting from the rest of the girls, and just gave me a regular crop top. And I was like, thank you.
And we know how distracting he is, because look at that body roll.
No, I don't call that a body roll. That's called an ass roll.
Because I realized in the show, I go, I'm not the most sexy dancer, and I'm not really much of a dancer regardless, but I was like, hey, if I have an ass, people won't notice. And nobody did. In this capitalistic society, wouldn't you want us to contribute